So I'm going to take you into what a full immersion healthy lifestyle is. And please keep in mind, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician of any kind, I'm not an MD, I'm not an ND, I'm not a DO, I'm not a chiropractor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a nurse practitioner, not an LPN, not an RN, I'm not anything like that, okay? I'm not a dietitian, not a nutritionist, nothing like that. I have no credentials whatsoever. This video is not medical advice. If you have a medical issue, I would highly suggest that you go and you get the help of a licensed healthcare practitioner, not some guy on YouTube. But one of the problems that Lenape Valley has, like all mental health agencies and mental health practitioners, is, again, as you've seen in my previous videos, they apply these unproven, unscientific, and very unhelpful and sometimes damaging means to, quote, correct mental health problems. Now, if you're working on your mental health and not your physical health, you're probably not going to get very far. That's just a point that I'd like to make. So, this is Blueprint by Brian Johnson. This is the guy that created Venmo, and now he's spending his billions or millions of dollars on anti-aging himself, which is wonderful. He's trying to achieve what's called longevity escape velocity, okay? And he goes over his whole system right on this website here. This website is blueprint.brianjohnson.co. This is Brian Johnson's YouTube videos, and I'm not going to go over this, but you can see here he has different videos that you can look at, including the whole morning he follows and whatnot, and his workout. The good news is to be healthy, regularly healthy, you don't really need to go as far as Brian Johnson, although you're going to have to go farther than you probably already are, okay? So I want to take you through the basic macronutrients, carbohydrates. All carbohydrates are broken down into glucose. This is not true. Fiber is not broken down into glucose. So simple carbohydrates. Fiber is also not a carbohydrate like other carbohydrates, though, but it is counted as a carbohydrate on packaging. So you want to remove the fiber from the total carbohydrate. So whatever the dietary fiber is, you would subtract that from the total carbohydrate when you're counting carbs. So simple carbohydrates are easy for your body to break down for energy or glucose. They have 1 to 2 sugar molecules and are found in items that are usually sweet, such as honey, table sugar, syrup, agave nectar, molasses, milk, yogurt, and fruit. Fruit does contain a natural sugar called fructose. Okay, however, fruit also has vitamins and minerals, yada, yada, yada. Complex carbohydrates, of course, these are harder to break down, and these are in things like whole grains. Proteins come in, of course, your animal products, but also in your legumes and your nuts and your seeds and things of that nature. Fats are important. So when you're trying to lose weight, the two things that you're going to want to count are your total carbohydrates and your total fats. However, when you're counting fats, what you want to watch out for are your trans fats and your saturated fats, not so much your unsaturated fats, okay? But you do want to get your fats from whole foods, and you want to aim for the essential fats, the polyunsaturated fats from things like nuts and seeds and fatty fish, things of that nature, okay? So this is the basic breakdown of a healthy diet: 45 to 65% carbohydrate, 10 to 35% protein, and 20 to 35% fat. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're planning your diet. Not every day has to be the same, and not every day has to be perfect, but you want your macros to meet these. If you're aiming to get your carbohydrates from whole foods like vegetables and whole grains and things of that nature, your micronutrients are going to be higher, okay? So don't get your carbohydrates from garbage. for a couple reasons. Number one, it's going to cause unstable blood sugars, and it's going to cause mood issues. It's going to cause issues with your mood. If you have unstable blood sugar, you're going to have an unstable mood. Okay, moving on. If you read no other book on micronutrients, and if you read no other book on how to take micronutrients, read Linus Pauling's book here, How to Live Longer and Feel Better by Dr. Linus Pauling, PhD. I would strongly suggest it. He even goes over a basic life plan on how to eat, how to exercise, very simplistic, very easy to follow, very health promoting, and to be honest, the research has proven everything that he says and not disproven it. So if you really dig into the research, you'll find out that everything he said in this book on how to live a healthy lifestyle, it's more so, it's been more proven, not less proven as time went on, as research went on. If you have questions about micronutrients, such as where to get them, how much to take, blah, 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 check out the Linus Pauling Institute at lpi.oregonstate.edu. Okay, so this goes over all of your micronutrients you could care about, your vitamins, your minerals, your micronutrient inadequacies, other nutrients, dietary factors, food and beverages, life stages, health and disease. Give it a whirl. Check it out. If you're not already subscribed to Dr. Rhonda Patrick's channel, Found My Fitness and Found My Fitness clips and everything Rhonda Patrick, you probably should subscribe to all of her stuff, get her newsletter, everything Rhonda Patrick. Just do it. Okay, now this is her interviewing her mentor, Bruce Ames, who was the guy that discovered the triage theory of aging and disease. And I want you to understand that micronutrient inadequacies are more common and more insidious than you think, and could be and are one of the root causes of aging and disease, as was proven by Dr. Ames. So let's move on.
Get all their micronutrients from just their diet, or do you think that supplementing is also good insurance?
Well, I have an Italian wife, and she feeds me a wonderful Mediterranean diet. We eat lots of fish and veggies, and I love Italians cook veggies in wonderful ways with a little olive oil and garlic, and so I don't eat veggies with a meal. I feel deprived, but I think we all should try and eat a good diet, and it's actually wonderful to eat a good diet, because you're eating all these different kinds of food, and they all taste good, and when you get used to it, you feel better. But I don't think there's any. I'm not out in the sun, both for a genetic reason and other, because I'm in the lab all the time. So I make sure to take a vitamin D pill. And I think supplements really serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. And not everybody you expect to be a biochemist knowing exactly how much of each vitamin and all of that to take. The Linus Pauling Institute has a terrific website that discusses micronutrients, and you can get advice on the web. But I think a multivitamin mineral is good insurance, and I take some fish oil just to be sure, and I take some vitamin D to be sure, and am I getting enough calcium and magnesium? I take a calcium magnesium pill. Metals, Mae West said too much of a good thing is wonderful, but she was thinking about sex, not micronutrients, particularly for metals, because calcium and magnesium are one above the other on the periodic table. Magnesium is here and calcium's here, and they're similar kind of molecules, and it's hard. So there are a lot of calcium-dependent proteins and a lot of magnesium-dependent proteins. Well, nature cares about the ratio. You can put in too much calcium and cause magnesium shortages and vice versa, but we tend to be short of both of them. So I think we shouldn't sell calcium pills, we should sell calcium magnesium pills. And same thing, everybody says they're getting too much salt, that's sodium chloride, but partly we're not getting enough potassium. Potassium comes from veggies and bananas and fruit and all these things. And you really want to get enough potassium because the body cares about the sodium-potassium ratio. Anyway, that's so you can get too much of a lot of things. So,
do you take B complex as well?
Yeah,
because you published a paper about some time ago and talking about how with aging, membranes gets different, cellular membranes gets different, how that may change the B.
Yeah, no.
Vitamin.
As you get older, I'm 86 and still working full time and Saturday afternoons when Rhonda's interviewing me. But I hope I'll live to 90, but who knows? But I have some big ideas I'm trying to get out there before I kick off.
Well, your triage theory is certainly one that's made a huge impact in my life and my thinking, and I'm doing my best to try to get that out in the public. I think most people need to realize that, just because they're not walking around with acute deficiencies doesn't mean they're getting enough of their micronutrients.
So Dr. Joel Wallach is a doctor of veterinary medicine and a naturopathic doctor. He treats both animals and humans and also runs a couple companies. Now he's going to talk about his concept of the 90 essential nutrients, which is very similar to Dr. Bruce Ames's theory of well, not theory, these are laws at this point, they're proven, but Bruce Ames's triage concept. But what you have to understand is Dr. Wallach is the co-discoverer, independently, of the science of epigenetics, and he is also the one that discovered that some forms of cystic fibrosis are not genetic. They come from a deficiency of selenium. And I think it's very important that people understand this. Don't take a whole bunch of selenium, though, because it can be detrimental to your health. But let's let Dr. Wallach explain these things. And you should read Dr. Wallach's book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Let's hear Dr. Wallach talk.
The thing we learned in the animal industry over 100 years ago, that to maximize the longevity, maximize the genetic potential for production of milk and meat and eggs, to maximize health, we had to eliminate disease because we don't have health insurance for animals. If we used a human healthcare system for animals, it'd be sticker shock for most people. A dozen eggs would be $250 and a pound of hamburger would be $700 just to pay for the health care. So we learned a long time ago in the animal industry that we could prevent birth defects, we could prevent infertility, we could maximize longevity and health and fending off disease by giving all the known essential nutrients to animals based on body weight. And we learned 100 years ago that there are 16 minerals required, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids, and that's the 90. And you cannot depend on it from being in your food, because nutritional minerals, which make up 2/3 of the 90 essential nutrients, 60 out of the 90 are minerals, do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like chocolate and chocolate ice cream. And some places have 10, some places have 15, some places have 20, some places have 40. Plants only need 3 to maximize their benefit and make good seeds for the next generation. Human beings and all other vertebrates, whether you're a hummingbird or a crocodile or an elephant, require 60 minerals. And so the only way you can guarantee that and actually prevent an enormous amount of unnecessary misery and cost is to consciously supplement with all 90 essential nutrients. It just seems so simple. You just guarantee it. And whatever you get from your food is a benefit added, is an add-on. But you can't depend what is or is not in the food. And we've learned that in the animal industry, and why not treat humans as well as we do animals?
So this is the website orthomolecular.org that deals with orthomolecular medicine. It has some information, but also what you can do, you can look at the library, what have you, but you can click nutrients here. And you can go to your carbohydrates, your proteins, your fats, your minerals, your vitamins, water. It'll go over here and why that's important. But okay, for example, let's click proteins. Amino acids are important. So it'll go over all of your proteins that you require, essential, non-essential, etc. It goes over the food sources, what they do, and everything else. Very convenient little charts here. This is my playlist of videos called Atavism and is where it's at, and the importance of following a more ancestral diet and lifestyle to encourage proper health. So this is Dr. Kara Fitzgerald's Younger You program. You can take a BioAge quiz, BioAge lab test, virtual group, Younger You supplement store, Younger You, whatever. You can read the book. You can also find recipes on here. There's a lot of things you can do here. So programs, supplements, discover your BioAge, knock yourself out with this. Read her book. I'd recommend reading her book anyway. I own her book and I've read it already. You're probably saying, I don't want to eat a healthy diet. A healthy diet is not achievable and the foods are boring, blah, 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 blah. Well, what would you eat on a healthy diet? On a healthy non-vegan diet, now I promote veganism, both for ethical reasons and longevity reasons, but primarily because of ethical reasons. If you're not into that, you don't have to necessarily go for a full vegan diet, but you do have to follow a health-promoting diet that has all of your essential macronutrients and micronutrients and yada, yada, yada. So your lean proteins would include, your chicken, your fish, your, different meats. You want your vegetables and legumes. Legumes are also a protein. Legumes are a protein, a carbohydrate, and a vegetable. Keep that in mind. You want to get your fats. You want to avoid high glyceride fats, blah, blah, blah. So daily foods used it. So what are you going to be eating on this? Turkey lettuce wraps, strawberry spinach salad, air fryer salmon, shrimp Caesar salad, vegan Caesar salad, shrimp piccata, spaghetti squash lo mein, roasted garlic shrimp and asparagus, chimichurri chicken. This is from the South Beach diet, okay? Now, pretty much every major diet is every major good diet, whether it's whether it's South Beach or Atkins or the Zone diet or, one of these diets is going to give you nutrient-packed foods. I would stick mostly with the South Beach diet and Zone diet for recipes. Sugar Busters is another good book to read. I would recommend people read Sugar Busters if they want to get healthy. So you got your chicken and pears and blue cheese. That's one recipe here. Okay, and it just goes on and on. You got a number of healthy recipes. This is from prevention.com. Stuffed peppers. Okay, pan-grilled Mediterranean salmon. Maybe you want to go with a traditional diet. Maybe you want to utilize the Old Ways PT website and use the traditional Mediterranean, traditional Asian diet, etc. Well, here's recipes for that. You can go right on to oldwayspt.org/recipes and find all the Mediterranean diet recipes and Asian heritage diet recipes and African heritage diet recipes and Hispanic heritage diet recipes you want. Okay? And it's that simple. These are all very health-promoting recipes full of micronutrients and the right amounts of macronutrients. Maybe you're vegan. Maybe you want to check out the China Study diets. Here you go, nutritionstudies.org. This is T. Colin Campbell's website here. Different key lime avocado pie, air fryer bow tie pasta chips, jackfruit crabless cakes, vegan instant pot jackfruit white bean chili, blah, 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 carrot dogs, carrot cake, Hoppin' John salad, homemade sazan, sweet plantain, yada, yada, vegetable fried rice, lasagna stew. Okay, these are not foods that are going to make you, you're not going to be hungry for some kind of super special restaurant style food. These are restaurant quality foods that you can make in your own home with real ingredients. Maybe you're still vegan. Maybe you want to try out some of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's recipes, okay? Well, then you just go to Dr. Joel Fuhrman's website, drfuhrman.com/recipes, and check out some of his recipes. Maybe you want to amp up your micronutrients and your phytonutrients, so you go to Dr. Fuhrman's thing and you grab some recipes from here and blah, 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 blah. You're on the road to health. Maybe you want to try traditional recipes again, so you head out, you go to Blue Zones, bluezones.com/recipes, and you check out some of their recipes here, okay? You got plenty of recipes, 26 pages of recipes here, okay? These are all health promoting, load it with micronutrients, load it with phytonutrients, load it with the right amounts of macronutrients. Here are some vegan recipes for bodybuilders right here. Okay, so chickpea sloppy joes, chickpea tuna salad. These might be more for the American palate. Lentil salad with ginger dressing, lentil meatloaf, easy vegan chili, overnight oats, loaded vegetable tofu scramble, vegan white bean chili, tofu and vegetable spring rolls, ultimate bean and mushroom burger, Dijon chickpea salad, Casio e pepe oats, vegan chickpea frittata, vegan buffalo chicken pizza, sweet and sour tofu, vegan meatballs, vegan chicken, vegan tofu fish sticks, one pan Mexican quinoa, salt and chili edamame beans, vegan protein balls, Mexican vegan black bean soup, miso tofu, vegan hot dogs, vegan protein bars, vegan protein cookies, tempeh bacon, vegan chickpea piccata, edamame hummus, vegan protein mashed potatoes, 30 vegan recipes for bodybuilders. There's even more.